Bigger audience.
Thank you, Mishra ji,
Sir,
for introducing me. In the family which I belong to, good morning, all of you. The dignitaries on the virtual dais, I'm very happy to be in the beginning of this October gathering on the virtual platform, for it gives me an opportunity to update my knowledge on my favorite subject, tax. In short while, we are going to deliberate on the theme challenges for the tax profession post-COVID, touching on the topics including GST and income tax. With economic wring from the coronavirus pandemic, we all find ourselves in an unprecedented position to help create a new norm for both ourselves and those around us. Everyone together needs to share how we are seeing the experienced member around us respond to this challenging time. What guidance are we providing to each other and the impact this crisis will have on the tax profession now and in the future. India has put in place strict restriction to combat coronavirus. Since March, it has taken extraordinary measure to contain the spread of corona COVID-19. It has had a several impact on the economic activity, small business and medium business supply chain, even the tax practitioners. To minimize some of the adverse effect to lockdown and other restriction measures by the government, including new compliances and regulatory changes which help the companies to survive the economic shock. But even after that, it is a challenge to the field to field and figure out the game plan going forward. A way to combat this by recognizing the unknown and letting go of the expectation that we need to have all the answers immediately. I would be bold to assume the far future to determine when this pandemic would end together, but it is predictable it is predictable that the reality that the time people will come accustomed to the situation and more things will come in order, keeping the current scenario in mind. In the matters of tax practitioner, the one way to handle the near future and survive this is to remain as updated as possible with the upcoming changes and the deadlines. Once in a few months, there will be possible changes, and all of us will have to incorporate them in our daily lives. The major change that can be expected post COVID is a major revolution in a technology know how. People would have to come accustomed to the everything being done electronically, and every one of us will have to cope with that. There will be obvious advantages and disadvantages with that too, but we will all have to face it. Apart from the major lives lost in this pandemic, it is the economy of the country which has taken a huge toll, which is a great concern right now and will and which will remain focused post-COVID as well. Everybody present here today is also somewhere affected by it too. If we look at the manufacturing sector and the industrial sector, the growth essentially comes from the uptick of the spending, which is not happening. The public need to have confidence that they can spend the money and they will be able to earn it back. Similarly, the industry need to put in money. If they put in the money in the new projects and the working capital, they are not going to settle with the inventories and more loans. Banks have already had a principal component analysis problem. They are naturally trained or cautioned about the choosing the person to whom they are willing to give money. Still, a lot of banks are under PCA, and even though they have money, they are not in a position to lend it. All these things need to be addressed. Litigation strategy shall be revised due to restricted functioning by the court cross country. At the best time, our judicial system was plagued with the delays. The backlog of cases in the courts are nearly in lakhs. In and around third week of March, the Supreme Court as well as high courts in several states notified that they will be taking only urgent matters. The litigants had to explain and justify the urgency. There is no end date of the said notifications. However, on 23rd March, the Supreme Court of India has issued an order stating that the period of limitation for all court proceedings shall be extended. Whenever the High Courts opened its door, about 5 to 8,000 new filing may reasonably be expected. Thereby, it is expected that the pendency of litigation in India is going to further increase in coming months. Therefore, it is advisable for the tax practitioners to revise their litigation strategy and analyze the impact of the delay in disputing resolution. There is hope for the courts to improve its judicial delivery system by making optimum use of available technology by permitting e-filing and video conferencing in all and not only urgent cases. In Allahabad, we are doing fiscal hearing with our 30 to 40% of the strength. The new guidelines of the Ministry of Home Affairs keep on showing the intention of the government to slowly lift the lockdown. However, at the same time, the health and the safety remains the first priority. The business continues to keep up themselves prepared to adapt with any legal or regulatory change introduced by the government. In the line of other countries, the Indian government has announced a large fiscal stimulated package to address the concern of the economy. It would be prudent for the tax professional to quickly analyze the obligation and determine their position so as to advise their client accordingly to avoid non-performance of force majeure clauses. COVID-19 threat also exposes business to various tax law related challenges which can vary as per the nature of business and operation of the company. It is advised to revise contract and policy to ascertain whether they are properly worded to address challenges posed for this unusual situation. In addition, constant changing government regulation must be taken into account. Local notifications are regularly issued on short notices, which must be observed by the professional. It is therefore inevitable that every practitioner keep up to date and think about necessary measures in advance so that the company can respond quickly on the new solutions. We have series of speakers and sessions after me who will be deliberating on the various facets of the tax laws and principle. I like that I am also eagerly waiting to hear them speak. And before my own address become taxing for the audience, I must thank the organizer for giving me an opportunity to share my thoughts on this virtual platform. Thank you very much.